Have you heard this clunking noise in your car before? Hearing those clunking noises driving down the road, or especially on uneven terrain, it is a clear indication that something is loose in the front end or even the rear end of the vehicle. There's a steering or suspension component that has play, and that noise is of course not supposed to be there. But it's very important to be able to diagnose it properly because there's a lot of components that can make a very similar noise. So let's dig a little bit further into this and see where exactly the problem is coming from. As with any noise on a vehicle, it is important to safely raise and support the vehicle on either jack and jack stands or on a lift if you have access to one, so you can get a lot more space to investigate things. Now once it is safely raised and supported, you want to grab the wheel at 9 and 3 o'clock and give it a shake. This typically checks for tie rod play. And then 12 and 6 o'clock, so top and bottom, this typically checks for ball joint play. Also, in both cases, it should check for wheel bearing play. Now, for us, I'm actually hearing and feeling nothing, but we obviously had a loud clunking noise. So we have to remove the wheel so we can get a better view at what's happening. There are different types of suspension setups, but most smaller vehicles are going to have something that looks like this with just a strut and a lower control arm. Basically, everything that you see here is going to be able to produce a noise similar to what we heard. There's the strut, of course, like I said, there is a sway bar link. Those can wear out. The bushings that are on the sway bar further in there, the tie rods, inner and outer, and the lower ball joint. Those are all going to make a similar clunking or even thumping noise as they wear out and have play. Now, if you need any of these parts as you're doing your diagnosing, check us out at oneauto.com because we carry all of these. After prying on stuff and pulling on different parts that could make that noise, I found that with just my hands, I can make that lower ball joint make that exact noise that we heard, and therefore that is our culprit. You might be asking yourself, how does the ball joint actually go bad when the boot appears to still be good? Well, in actuality, it's most likely, in the case of this vehicle, going to come down to road conditions. So if this vehicle was driven over a lot of potholes, speed bumps, gravel roads, or just poorly paved roads in general, well, that's going to put a lot of stress on the ball joint. Now, because of what I'm suspecting here, it's very important for me to check the other side as well, because I want to replace everything that needs to be replaced all at once. I don't want to have to come back for the same job just over there, especially since you need an alignment after any front end suspension or steering work has been done. So I have a kit from oneauto.com that I got that comes with the control arms that has the ball joints already mounted in them. Easy replacement, easy repair, so let's get to it. Got it. When you take things apart and you notice that there's rust in places that it shouldn't be in, clean it up and make sure it doesn't rust again by applying some sort of anti-corrosive coating. With a lot of control arms, you have to raise them up at right height so that you don't put the bushing under tension if you torque it with it hanging down. So lift it up and then torque your bushing. Our parts are installed. I did both control arms on this. And lastly, very important, don't forget to get an alignment. As with most new front end components that you install, the alignment will be altered. So you want to get it back in spec so your tires don't wear unevenly.